why you need to be selfish. And I'm actually going to emphasize the word need to be selfish. And the reason for it is because I know you're sitting there now, you want to achieve more, be more with your life, right? We live in this like paradoxical universe where society expects us to be selfless. We're told from being young that always help your brother out or your sister, don't be too selfish, selfish people are frowned upon, or whatever the saying is. We have this like calling and these things in life that we know we're capable of doing. We end up stuck because we're trying to help other people and we're trying to fill their cup, but our cup isn't even half full. You know, our cup is empty. How do you fill somebody else's cup? How do you help them if you're not even helping yourself? The reason why I wanted to have this conversation now is because I'm in an extremely selfish period of my life. And the reason for it is because we have a particular goal that we're working towards, and the only way to achieve that goal is to become incredibly selfish. There is a difference between being negatively selfish and what is called positive selfishness. You see, being negatively selfish is the only type of selfish that people really understand or know. It's what we've been taught. When we're being selfish, stop being so selfish. Yeah, share your food, share this, share whatever, right? And this is a psychological term. Positive selfishness is knowing that you are valuable. That means that you'll do things like you will look after yourself. You see, going to the gym, you're being selfish because you're actually taking time out for you. Meditating or working on yourself, learning, investing time in your own business, putting time into your goals. You can look at that as being selfish, but I don't want you to have that guilt attached to it. There are levels to selfishness, and like I say, there's a huge difference between negative selfishness, which is doing something at somebody else's expense. Positive selfishness is you are valuable. You will not serve the world when you are not at 100%. Sure enough, you might serve your family, you might help them, and it's like people who say, oh, I don't want a lot of money because it's just enough for me to help my family and I don't need very much. That is negative selfishness. You know why? Because you're capable of more. You know, if you really reflected and you took time out, that there is a particular group or community, there's some kind of ambitious project that you could be a part of, and you turning around and being like, oh no, I don't want to be selfish, I don't want to work on, I just want to have enough for me and my family. This entire world is your family. Like, we're all family. The people you've never met before are still family. And if we're just backing off and being like, no, I'm just going to work on me, that's not positive selfishness. Right now, like I say, the moment what we're doing is we're, as a business, become extremely selfish. And I noticed over the last couple of years, I got myself to a certain point. It was cool, right? Because if you watch my videos, you'll know already that I was like flat broke for a while. I went through, nothing too impossible, but I was one step away from homeless for like 9 months, actually a couple of years where I had less than no money. Then I was able to build myself up to be traveling around the world, be paid a lot of money by companies. I've trained over 400 companies over the last few years. In 2018, I spent more than 80% of the year traveling the world and being paid for that as well, which is awesome. I have my online academy. I reached a point where I was like, okay, well, let me start helping other people, right? Like, let me inspire others. So I started bringing people in and my energy started to be dispersed in all these different areas. What I realized is that by trying to just help everyone else in that time, it was actually taking away from what I was building. I was building something that people already loved. I didn't need to start bringing people in. Does this make sense, right? It just became a huge distraction. Now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, let's get super selfish and focus on what's going to build and what's going to create a great future. Look at the top athletes in the world. The way that they get there is by being selfish. Sure enough, you might look at it and say, yeah, but they are selfish because they're earning hundreds of thousands of dollars a week. Then what are they doing with the money? Well, to be fair, a lot of them are contributing millions throughout their career to charity. If we play the game small in life and we just play the game of like selfishness is only negative, don't get me wrong, there's definitely a negative side of selfishness. But if we only look at selfishness as being a negative, we're not going to elevate our own character, our own potential to that point where we can make a true impact. You see, it's selfish to be broke. If you live in the UK or you live in the USA or another country that financially okay, you've got a roof over your head, you've got food in your belly and you're healthy. Yeah, if you've got those things in place, it is selfish to be broke. It is selfish to live for the weekend. It's selfish to give all of your time and your life to a job that doesn't fulfill you. That's selfish. It's selfish to not live to your potential. If you just go back, less than 100 years, 80 years or something, our ancestors, like our grandparents, our great-grandparents, many of them died in battle so we could have freedom. I don't believe that our ancestors died in battle for us to hate our job, for us to wake up on a Monday and complain, oh shit, it's another Monday. Like, I don't believe that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. It's an insult to our ancestors to live an average life today. If you were to sit down with one of your deceased ancestors and say, yeah, you know what, I'm unhappy in my job, that's like first world problems, right? I would imagine that you would say thank you for going to war so I can have this freedom today. But we are not free if we are living our potential. So being selfish, I need you. The world needs you. The community or the particular type of people that you want to help needs you to be selfish. So what is it that you've been holding out on? What have you sacrificed over the years because you've been working in a job that you don't even like? What is it that you've been procrastinating over? Because it's only fear. There is so much support around you. Once you start and once you say yes to doing the thing that you're meant to do, like all of a sudden, you're going to get that clear difference between, well, that's negative selfishness and this is like what makes a difference. And then you're going to go to this place. And you're never ever going to feel guilty again about working on yourself, learning. Like Jamie, who's my partner, she never gets angry or frustrated that I'm reading a book to nurture my mind, or that I'm doing a video like this, or that I'm working on my business. Like, she gets it. But of course, I know when to stop, and I know when it's like, okay, date time, we're going to go to movies, or we're going to have the evening together. That's really the message I wanted to share in this video. What have you been holding out on? A lot of the time when we accuse other people of being selfish, it's actually ourselves, because we're not being selfish. We should be selfish. You need to be selfish. Comment below, let me know what you're going to do. And then from there, I'll see you tomorrow.